are doing 2.7, solving proportions. When we are solving proportions, first of all, let's talk about what a proportion is. A proportion is two ratios equal to each other. And there are two different ways we're going to look at solving these. If you have two ratios, ratios are just like a fraction, right? So in order to solve proportions, we have two approaches we're going to use. One, if there's a fraction, then it's the same as saying we clear the fraction. Option number two, which is the one you guys are going to like the best and have done before, is cross multiply. And we're going to look at both options today, okay? I want to show you that actually they are exactly the same thing. Exactly the same. See, because here's what happens. Let's say I have, how about 3 over 4 equals x over 5. If I was going to clear the fraction, I would ask you to multiply everything by the common denominator, which is what? 20. So I put a 20 over here and a 20 over here, right? Then I would, of course, ask you to simplify it. So 4 goes into 20 5 times, and we'd have 5 times 3 is 15 equals. Over here, 5 goes into 20 4 times, right? And we'd have 4x. Do you agree, clearing the fraction, that's what we'd have? Yes, does everybody agree? Okay. Now, if I chose not to clear the fraction and cross multiply, so let me get my 20 out of here, I would actually have 3 times 5, which is 15, and 4 times x, which is 4x. So, I know. Okay? There are times where clearing the fraction is going to be your better option. And we're going to see some of those today. But I want to expose you to both ways. It's exactly the same. You guys can see it's exactly the same thing, right? It's just how you approach it or how you see it better. So, that being said, here is example number 1. Solve. And let's start off with something as easy as 2 over 3 equals w over, 8. All right, let's start by cross multiplying. Let's do it that way first, right? So when I cross multiply, I prefer to go the direction of the variable first. So when I cross multiply, I'm going to go 3 times w, which is 3w, equals, and then I go the other direction, 2 times 8, which is 16. And then what do we do to solve for w? No, it really doesn't. I just prefer to go the variable direction first, because then it's always on the left. That's why I like that direction. But it does not really matter, as long as you go at a diagonal. And our answer ends up to be, no, it does not. W equals 16 over 3. All right, let's do another one. Here's example number 2. Again, I want you to solve. Let's say I have 7 over 9 equals 2 over x. So on this one, which direction do you want to start with? 7 Yeah, let's do the 7 times x direction first. So that ends up on our left. And 9 times 2? Good. I missed a little curve there. 18, and then what's the only thing we have to do? Divide by 7. And we get x equals. Yes. All right. Now you know it can't stay this easy, right? Yeah, no. Let's just step it up a little bit, okay? Example number 3. In example number 3, I'm going to ask you to solve. And when you solve, let's say you have an expression somewhere. X plus 3 over 5 equals 2 over 7. If you have an expression anywhere in your problem, the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is put parentheses around that expression to group it together. Because it's got to go together wherever it goes. Okay? Then if we cross multiply and I go 7 times that group, I have 7 times the parenthesis, x plus 3. Equals, and if I go the other direction, 5 times 2 is 10. If I were to clear the fraction, yes, Jesse. Yes, just a minute though, I'm not quite there. If I wanted to clear the fraction, I would multiply both sides by what number? Sorry. Yes, 35. Alright, so I times this side by 35 and this side by 35. On this side, 5 goes into 35 7 times. And look what I have. I have 7 times that group. Equals. On this side, 7 goes into 35 5 times, and I have 5 times 2, which is 10. So it's exactly the same thing, right? Okay. So now, yes, Jesse's right. In order to solve this, we've got to distribute. 7 times x is 7x. 7 times 3, 21, equals 10. Now what do I have to do to solve? Minus 21 from both sides. I agree with you guys. So it's going to leave me with 7x equals negative. Good. And then, of course, the last thing we always do is, yes, divide to solve. And you divide by the coefficient on your variable. So here I divide by 7. I get x equals negative 11 over 7. Are you getting the idea that we're going to have several fractions today as answers? Pretty much. I mean, there's just a little bit harder, but not much. Okay, so I need to clarify then in the homework how it's going to look. All right, this is what we're doing. Example number 4. This is not bad at all. It's going to be a great day. Example number 4. On your first problems, which are 10 through 16, the directions are going to say solve by using the property of equality. And I know what you guys are thinking, what is that? What this really means is that I'm asking you to clear the fraction. Okay? So on the first 8 problems, I want you to clear the fraction. Do it with that method. Okay? Because, I mean, the only way you're going to decide what method you like is if you try both of them, right? So, let's do a problem from here. Let's say we have 9 over 2 equals W over 25. No. Similar. All right, so if I was going to clear the fraction, what would I have to multiply both sides by? 50, very good. So I'm going to put a little 50 here and a 50 here. Here, technically it's 50 times 9 divided by 2, or 25 times 9, which is? 225, very good. Equals, on this side, 50W divided by 25, or 25 goes into 50 twice. So we get 2W. What do we do? Divide both sides by 2, and we get W equals 225 over 2. That's how I want you to leave it, as long as it's in lowest terms. Okay? Example number 5? Yup, don't sound so excited. Example number 5. This is the next section. It says for 18 through 24. For 18 through 24, the next 8 problems. It says solve by cross multiplying. So let's say I have 2 over negative 5 equals 7 over m. So to cross multiply, we're going to, again, I like to start the directions of variables. So 2 times m is 2m equals, and we go the other direction, negative 5 times 7. Good, negative 35. And to solve, we divide by 2. Very good. So we have m equals negative 35 over 2. Not all of them, but there are quite a few. I want you to try to clear the fraction. It's only 4 problems. It's going to be okay. All right? I want you to clear the fraction. Then on these, you can cross multiply. Ready for example 6? This is what you're going to like. Example 6. This is your next few problems, 26 through 32. Solve by any method. So, Jesse, what are you going to do? The cross multiply? Yes. Somehow I knew that. But let's make it just a little tougher. What if we had x plus 3 over 4 equals 2x minus 1 over 5. All right, so again, if we have an expression, the first thing I want you to do is group it. And I got to group this one. Everybody good with that? Now if we go ahead and cross multiply, doesn't matter which way you go, I'm going to go this way. I have 4 times my group, or 4 times 2x minus 1 equals. Then I got to go this direction. I'm going to have 5, again, times my group of x plus 3. Of course not. It's the same thing. Exactly. So now how do we get rid of the parentheses? Good. Okay. So 4 times 2x is 8x. Sorry about that. 4 times negative 1. Good. To the end of the parentheses, so I'm done distributing. Equals 5 times x and 5 times 3. Good. All right. Now we want to move our x's to the left. How do I do that? Awesome. Subtract 5x from both sides. So I have 3x minus 4 equals 15. Good. We're going to add 4 to both sides. So I have 3x equals 19. And then divide by 3. We're going to divide to solve. And of course, we get x equals? Good. Nope. Over here? Uh-huh. Ah, okay. Any other questions? You could have had this over here and that one over there. And then when I move it over, I'm going to have a negative 3x and a negative 19, right? And then when you divide, you get a positive. You're doing great. All right. So I just have a couple more examples to go. Are we doing okay? Okay. That was number 6, right? So let's do number 7. In number 7, example number 7. In example number 7, let's say, oh my goodness. Let me try that again. Huh? Yep, you're right. All right. Let's say that 8 pounds of burger feeds 22 people. How many pounds of burger are needed to feed 100 people? All right, so on our word problems today, we're going to set up proportions. When we set up proportions, you have to set up both proportions the same. Okay? All right, so on this one, since it starts off this way, I'm going to put burger over the number of people. Okay? So no matter what, your two proportions have to be set up exactly the same. So my first one, I have 8 pounds of burger for 22 people. Equals. How many pounds of burger? Well, I don't know, so that's going to be my variable. You can use any variable you like, X, B, W, I don't care. For how many people? 100. And how do we solve to find out how many pounds of burger we need? Yes, that's what I wanted to hear. Okay, so I agree that's going to end up happening, but we need to cross multiply here to find out exactly how much we need, right? Okay, so I'm going to go this way first. 22 times X is 22X equals 800. Thank you, Ian. And then I'm going to take 800 and divide by 22. I get X equals. Okay, you got 36.36. Why is a decimal okay this time? It's a real life situation, right? It doesn't make any sense for you to say 800 over 22 or 400 over 11. Okay, but at the same time, we got to make sure we have enough burgers. So I always want you to round up when we're rounding. So I actually want you to say this is going to be 36.4 pounds of burger. Oops, maybe. Yes, you can. That's exactly what Emma was talking about. You're getting a unit rate, and then you're timesing it by 100 to find out your unit rate times 100 people. I agree with that. However, this is something we're going to carry to the next lesson, so I'm suggesting how we set it up, and we should cross multiply. 37, yes. Because here's the thing, if you ever round down, are you going to have enough burger to feed everybody? No. So we've got to make sure we're always rounding up. That's true. They're vegans. All right. Here we go with example number 8. And it'll be my last one. Example 8. All right. Fred. I don't know. Talking about Fred. Fred is planting trees. He can plant 15 trees in 2 hours. How long will it take Fred to plant 50 trees? He's going to be tired. All right. So we've got to decide how do we want to set up our portions. Do you want trees over hours? Do you want hours over trees? What do you want to do? Trees over hours. Sounds good to me. So trees over hours. All right. So in the first line it says he plants 15 trees in 2 hours. Equals. Then it says, how long will it take Fred to plant 50 trees? Where's 50 going to go? On the top, exactly. Over H, X, W, whatever you want. Try that again. All right, now how are we going to solve? Yes, we're going to cross multiply. 15 times X is 15X. 2 times 50. Dividing both sides by 15. 6.7. Good. Hours. Well, no, it's saying we've planted 7 trees. It's asking about time. So it's 7/10 of an hour. Right? Okay, any questions? You can easily get this assignment done in less than 15 minutes. I totally guarantee it if you get right to work. Okay?